Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cursing Seamstress. I'm back in my original familiar location. I'm on my way out to get my hair done in just a few minutes, but I wanted to go ahead and start on a review of a pattern that I recently made. And so many people have made this, and I've had this pattern for several months. It's a New Look 6446. Most people have made the pants version. I chose to make the dress, although actually this is the one that I sewed together, I think. Yes, it's a maxi dress. I used a woven fabric. I made a size 18. That has a bust of 40, a waist of 32, hips of 42, and let's see, for version C, version A is the maxi. It calls for 3 1/4 yards of fabric if it's a 45-inch width, and suggested fabrics are calico, chambray, chino, cotton types, gingham, lightweight denim, linen types. And I did use a linen type. It was a thrifted fabric. I probably got 4 yards of it for a couple of dollars, excuse me, from a thrift store. So the reason I like these, but the reason I didn't make the pants is because I really find that it's difficult when you have to go to the bathroom. I work in a school, a community college, and the bathrooms are not in the best condition, and the idea of having to totally undress almost, and to have the, most of your garment trying to hold it up from touching the floor and hover over a toilet seat is just, it's not fun. It takes a lot of time. But otherwise, I love the way the pants version looks. All right, so just a little bit. First of all, I'll just say it's a great pattern. I really like the pattern a lot. I cut it out and started making it, and then I went to pattern review and started looking at some of the reviews. Again, most people made the pants version, but for the dress part, the skirt version, a lot of people said that they didn't like the pleats, because there is a pleat in the center and the front, there's 2 pleats in the back, and people said various things about that. I think one person opted to put actual darts in place of the pleats. I think somebody else gathered the top of the skirt, and somebody said that the way the pleats were would be fine for somebody who was stick thin, but otherwise it was not a good look. But I had already cut it and started sewing it together. I'm a lazy seamstress, I think. I think my battery might go dead. I'm not sure. I may have to replace it, so I'm just gonna keep an eye on that. Anyway, I'm certainly not stick thin, but I went ahead and persevered. And a few things, again, I've said this before with different patterns, but you need a good marking pen because you are dealing with pleats. You're also dealing with the strap placement. You want to make sure that you get those in the correct place. So that's important. I'll just show you. I'm not prepared to, I may try it on. I will try it on and show it in the video, but it also calls for an invisible zipper. I used a regular zipper. I don't do invisible zips. I don't know how to. I don't have an invisible zip foot. I just, work around it using a regular zipper. You can still see I've not washed this. I've actually not finished it. The only thing that's not finished on this is the hem. Again, I made the maxi version. When I was cutting it out, I didn't think that I was going to use it as a maxi, but I didn't know where I wanted it to cut off, so I went ahead and made the maxi version, planning on going back and adjusting it, if I wanted to. So I'll just show you what this looks like. This is sort of a celery green color. That's the bodice. You can see the big pleat there in the front, and I'll just show you the back. It has the pleats toward the side, and that's it. So the bodice is lined. I don't know what I thought, because I started sewing it together and then continued to read on the pattern, and it said cut the bodice out same as before. So you cut the bodice the second time. It's really important that you try this on throughout the process, because before you sew on the bodice facing, you're going to want to make sure you've got the fit right. And when I talk about the fit being right, you want to make sure that the bodice comes up to exactly where you want it to come to, and that the straps are exactly the right length. I ended up cutting off about 4 inches on the length of the straps, and the pattern tells you that you will need to do that. They're extra long, so you can adjust it. But the last thing you want to do is to have to unpick this and redo the strap placement. That's a lot of unpicking, and I knew that I was not going to do any unpicking. The pattern is not a difficult pattern at all. I will say that as I continued to sew it and continued to try it on, check the placement, blah blah, it became tedious. It became tedious putting on the facing for the bodice and matching it and stuff. I took a shortcut, and what I did was, I'll turn this inside out. The other big recommendation if you make this is that you serge your side seams and center seams prior to sewing them together, in case you do need to make an adjustment. If you have to let anything out, fix anything, it's going to make it a whole lot easier. So I did do that. The bodice ended up being fine. I didn't have to take it up anymore. It was perfect as far as the... All right, well, my battery did die. I'm not sure where exactly I lost you, but anyway, I think the last thing I was saying was that it's really better to go ahead and serge the side seams and the back seams prior to stitching everything together. That worked a lot better for me. All right, so where I really got lazy, I suppose, was in the facing for the bodice. And the instructions tell you to turn this under and then stitch it, hand stitch it to the seam here. So I got a little bit lazy. Well, I got a lot lazy with that, and I decided instead to just tack it. I hand tacked it here, hand tacked it at the side seams, and just depending on if this facing wants to roll out, I haven't ironed it very well, but I may come back in the front and tack it down at the at these bust darts. But if it doesn't roll out, and I don't really know that it will, I'll probably just let it go. And I did not turn this in. I just got really lazy and left it serged and unfolded. Now, of course, the zipper, the instructions were for an invisible zipper and they were different. I pretty much just skipped over them and tacked down the zipper, the facing to the zipper, as I would in, in any other pattern that called for a regular zipper. So I did that, and I'm hoping all of that will keep the facing down where it needs to be. The zipper I used, I didn't have a celery green zipper. I used a very pale yellow, and that seemed to work well. Oh gosh, what else can I say about this? Yeah, I do think that the maxi is not the right length, this being a woven. It does have some weight to it, so I probably will chop it off somewhere. I'm not quite sure. If you have any suggestions, let me know. I wanted to bring up one thing. When in the instructions where it tells you to sew the straps, it tells you to put wrong sides together. Step number 23, fold shoulder strap 4 in half lengthwise with wrong sides together. Well, that's not correct. You fold them with right sides together and then you turn them out, and you have the option of top stitching or not. Well, I did top stitch mine. So that, I think, is the only error that I found in the pattern. I didn't find any other errors. So again, I will try this on before I publish this video, just to let you take a look at how it looks on me. But again, it does get fiddly and tiresome as you work through it. At least it did for me. And so I kind of just wanted to finish it. And I didn't want to do too sloppy of a job. I did want it to be wearable. And I think every time I start a project, I think I'm so pessimistic. I always get into it with the idea it's probably not going to turn out anyway. But this did. It turned out really nicely. And I don't know that I would not make the, I don't know that I wouldn't make the pants version. I probably wouldn't wear it to school. Just, if you're going out, it just gets really awkward to have to go to the bathroom. But anyway, so that's it. The fiddliest part is trying it on, I'm short-waisted, so getting the bodice to hit at my natural waist is important. If you don't, as a matter of fact, when I first started trying it on and adjusting the straps, the bodice was hitting so low and it just looks so frumpy. You have to get it in the exact right spot and get those straps where they need to be for it to look okay. And so I think I did. And I will show you. And again, I think it's a great pattern. The sizing is really good. That's all I can say. So stay tuned. I'll show you some pictures, and I will talk with you later. All right. Well, I have tried it on. The bodice is good. It's high enough. There's not a lot of extra here. It lies flat, which is great. Pockets are good. This pleat is okay. I think it's okay for my hip width. It's not pulling apart. The back looks like this. Again, I don't think it's pulling apart so much that it makes me look horribly huge. I'll back up a little bit to show you the bottom. Again, it's actually, I'm 5'4". It used to be 5'4.5". This unhemmed is probably about 4 inches too long. I have to turn up the hem at least 4 inches, but I'm gonna, you know, shorten it more than that. I still have all the markings for, you know, the bust darts and all, so ignore those. But that's it. I think it is staying turned under good. Again, I haven't ironed it. After I hem it, I'm gonna wash it, get the markings off, and see how it does. Of course, I always pre-wash my fabric, so that's not an issue, and I dry it. So this is it. I like it, and I know probably everybody's sewn it but me. I'm pretty late to the game, and so that's it. I just wanted to show you this, and I will talk to you later. Bye bye.